Here's a revised version of your story with a more fleshed-out narrative and expanded details. On a crisp autumn afternoon, old Mr. Carter, a weathered farmer with a face as lined as the fields he tilled, drove his rusty pickup truck to the neighboring farmhouse. He parked by the white picket fence, the engine sputtering into silence, and stepped onto the porch. The air smelled of damp earth and freshly cut hay. He rapped on the door with his knuckles. After a moment, it creaked open, revealing a boy no older than 9. The lad had tousled hair, a smudge of dirt on his cheek, and a curious expression in his wide, blue eyes. "Hello there," Mr. Carter said, removing his hat and holding it against his chest. "Is your dad or mom around?" The boy shook his head. "Nope, they went into town for supplies. Won't be back till evening." Mr. Carter shifted uncomfortably, glancing down at his boots. "What about your brother, Tommy? Is he here?" The boy leaned against the doorframe, shaking his head again. "Tommy went with them." For a moment, the farmer stood there, silent, fiddling with the brim of his hat. The boy watched him patiently, sensing the man's unease. Finally, the boy spoke up. "I know where all the tools are if you need to borrow one. Or I can leave a message for Dad," he offered with a helpful smile. Mr. Carter cleared his throat, his face reddening slightly. "Well, son, it's not a tool I need. I need to speak to your dad about something important. You see, it's about your brother Tommy." The boy's smile faded, replaced by a look of concern. "What about Tommy?" Mr. Carter hesitated, then blurted out, "It's about him getting my daughter Mary pregnant." There was a long silence. The boy blinked, his young mind processing the weight of the farmer's words. Finally, he straightened up and scratched his head thoughtfully. "Well," he said slowly, "you'll have to talk to my dad about that. I know he charges $500 for the bulls and $150 for the pigs, but I have no idea how much he charges for Tommy." The boy's earnest reply hung in the air for a moment before Mr. Carter's lips twitched upward in spite of himself. He chuckled, shook his head, and muttered something about kids these days, as he turned and walked back to his truck. The boy watched him go, still leaning in the doorway, then shrugged and went back inside, leaving the screen door to creak shut behind him.